Good day to all of you. Myself, Dr. Arvind Sharma, Associate Professor in Physics, Government Nagar College, Bikaner. In last lecture, we discussed about the Ehrenfest theorem. Now, in this lecture, we discuss about the general case of the Ehrenfest theorem and few concepts relating to it. The general form of Ehrenfest theorem is given by the time evaluation of an operator equal to iota upon h cross expectation value of commutator of Hamiltonian h and operator q plus expectation value of time derivative of operator. This is the general case of Ehrenfest theorem, and the Ehrenfest theorem we earlier studied is the specific case of that general consequence. If operator q is independent of time, that is, it does not depend upon explicitly on the time, then the results we studied tomorrow or in last lecture or you studied in the UG classes. Otherwise, this is the general case, that means expectation value is equal to in both terms. That means you can't just replace the expectation value of the operator, but it depends upon the commutator expectation value also. So let us start that. First we understand this expression. For instance, let us look at the time dependence of the expectation value of the position. Suppose there are two cases if q equal to x and q equal to px. If q equal to x, that is first Ehrenfest theorem you derive, then d upon dt expectation value of x equal to iota upon h cross expectation value of commutator of hx plus delta x upon delta t expectation value. Now the operator x does not depend explicitly on time, so the second term becomes 0. This term becomes 0, and this is the specific case. In that case, we derive the first expression of the Ehrenfest theorem, and we know that the Hamiltonian operator is given by the total energy. First term kinetic energy half mv square, that is equal to p square upon twice m plus vx potential energy. Now, using this, d upon dt expectation value of x equal to iota upon h cross expectation value of commutator of p square upon 2m plus vx comma x expectation value commutator and expectation value. Now how we can solve it? We know that v is potential energy, okay, that is function of x. So first calculate. You know that if you want to compute an commutator of type a plus b comma b, a plus b comma c, that means addition or subtraction of two commutators are there, then this can be equal to a comma c plus b comma c. That means p square upon twice m comma x plus v comma x. So here second term is considered first because it's simple and equal to 0, because you all know that vx comma x equal to 0. Both are constant quantities, so their order does not affect the result, so it becomes 0. Initially in UG classes you learn about that when you want to compute an operator, it should be operated on any eigenfunction. So if you want to clear it that how you can calculate it. So operate it on psi. That means Vx comma x operated on psi. Then you can calculate. This is expectation value of this. Expectation value of this, that means expectation value of this term, not only commutator. So if commutator is 0, then that is also equal to 0. So if you want to calculate any operator, you operate it on wave function. Now this term p square upon twice, p square upon twice. Now p can be considered as product of two commutators, p square. Okay. So if there is a commutator a square comma b equal to a comma b, and you know that commutator operator, if there is a product of operator, then order is important. So if you take a dot a or p dot p, so right hand side p is outside right hand side of the commutator and left hand side of p is outside left hand side of the commutator. So if you want to solve it, that a square comma b equal to, or you say just take a b comma c, then equal to a comma c commutator c plus a b comma c equal to a comma c b plus a commutator b comma c. That means commutator comes outside on the right side or left hand side. It depends upon the order of the operator in the commutator. P square comma x. There is another way, simple way, that you just take p square as a px square plus py square plus pz square. Okay. So that is the right way you can easily compute it. Otherwise, if you are taking here, that is the okay. So one time p is on left hand side and one time p is on the right hand side, as we are using the algebra of the computers. We know that px equal to iota h cross, so it becomes p upon n. In very simple steps, you calculate it. If you are using px square, py square, pz square, you must compute few extra terms. Okay. So this is the shortest method to derive it. You should recognize this as the velocity is equal to the momentum divided by the mass. What about the time rate of change of the expectation value of momentum? That is second equation of Ehrenfest theorem. d upon dt of expectation value of p equal to iota upon h cross p square upon twice m plus v comma p. But p square upon 2m comma p equal to 0. Equal to 0. How you can compute it? You just operate it on psi and just calculate the value. Okay. Similarly, p square comma p 1 upon 2m is common and p square comma. That means if you want to calculate the operator like px square comma px. Okay. So fundamentally you see that the operators are same, and by changing their order there is nothing difference on the calculated value after operating the operators. So this fundamental can be used, but you calculate it. Okay. Now second term vx comma. Vx comma p. So now we can explore this commutator as Vp psi and here they are using the expectation value. You know that these notations are new for you. So you just compute it initially. We in next unit number 2, we understand about the bracket notation. This kind of notation is known as bracket notation. So you just compute like when you compute in the same computations as you do in your UG class initially, and there is nothing that in that notations that we can easily see that first term is opposite sign psi and right side psi. Such kind of notation is known as right side notation, straight line, and such kind of notation, kate notation, and left hand side straight line, and this is arrow, that is bra notation, bra and kate, bra notation and kate notation. Okay, you initially just do as you understand. After that, using you can easily that in both cases the result becomes the same. Okay, so what we understand here that the reduction of quantum mechanical dynamics to the classical trajectories is known as Ehrenfest theorem. It only holds for expectation values, averages of the measurements, and not for the eigenvalues themselves. The difference between quantum and classical trajectories is a result of the finite spatial extent of the wave packet. Finite extent of the wave packet, that means wave packet is finitely extended, okay, and thus the derivative of v with respect to x is taken at different points. These parts of the packet then feel a different force and the trajectory in the points. So a derivation of general Ehrenfest theorem is given here by using bracket notation. So just you replace it in next topic. We explain it. Here the notations are similarly that notations are given here. Here the evolution of mean value of an observable. There are three kinds of pictures in different: Schrodinger picture, Heisenberg picture, and one more. So it is given in that kind of representation which you learn in next lectures, that means in next unit. In Heisenberg picture we have an equation of the evolution operator. You can easily understand if you just observe it, then that is not more things are there. D upon dt equal to delta as upon delta t at h plus iota h cross inverse ah comma hh. H represents the Heisenberg representation. The corresponding equation on the Schrodinger equation describes the evolution of mean value of an object. D upon dt psi s as psi st equal to, we just taking on both sides. That means what is dAh upon dt? dAh upon dt and psi s. That notations I told you, bracket notation on the both sides. Okay, so it becomes the expectation value. you can easily understand that the integral is replaced by that notation. Bragg notation and right side gate notation. That means which we are using the integration, in place of integration that kind of notation is used here. Expectation value of d upon dt of expectation value of as and expectation value of delta as upon delta t plus iota h cos inverse expectation value of commutator of as hs. If A does not explicitly depend on time and AH equal to 0, then the mean value is constant. If that does not depend upon explicitly on the time, then this term becomes 0. Okay? And if AH equal to 0 and this expression is also 0, then the mean value is constant, because differentiation of any physical quantity is equal to 0, then it becomes constant. Let us S equal to P square upon 2m plus theta. Potential kinetic energy plus potential. Kinetic energy plus potential. Okay, then d upon dt of expectation value of R equal to, R is here position. If you are taking a physical quantity in place of AS, in Ehrenfest theorem, one time you use position and second time you use momentum, R and P. So this expression becomes, and you can easily get the two equations of Ehrenfest theorem, and it can be proved easily. Now, in general, delta U not equal to delta UR, which is the average force over the whole wave. That means gradient of UR at R equal to R is not equal to expectation value of gradient of UR. Okay. Therefore, the trajectory of the center of the wave packet is in general not the ones predicted by classical mechanics. However, if the dimensions of the wave packet are much smaller than the dimensions over which UR or changes appreciably, we can reach the classical limit. Here, in different approach, the similar expression in bracket notation is proved here. Notation is different but easily can be understandable. Same result is here shown, first in terms of operator d upon dt p, here d upon dt a equal to 1 upon iota h plus ah plus delta a upon delta. So one time you are taking a equal to p and second time equal to r. So both expressions are derived here or explained. Okay, so these relations are explained here in terms of different notations, one time in picture notation and second time in bracket notation. So when you understand these kinds of notations in next units, then you can easily understand this article. So just read it a simple way, try to understand. If you don't understand the whole concepts, then after clearing the bracket notation and picture notation, you can easily understand it. Okay, thank you all of you.